Picture this. You're driving your brand new car off the lot, the smell of fresh upholstery in the air, and your mind focused on that monthly payment you just agreed to. It feels like freedom and accomplishment rolled into one, and the math seems simple enough. Most people believe owning a car is all about the sticker price and the monthly payment. Maybe you factor in gas, but that's about it. The rest? It barely crosses your mind as you sign the paperwork and take the keys. The reality is, the true cost of car ownership is like an iceberg. What you see above the surface is only a fraction of the whole. Beneath that monthly payment, there's a hidden world of expenses waiting to surprise you. These hidden costs aren't just minor annoyances. They can quietly drain your bank account and shape your financial future in ways you might never expect. The car you love could be costing you far more than you realize. Today, we'll pull back the curtain on car ownership. We'll break down the obvious costs, reveal the hidden ones, and explore how the money you spend on your car could have been used for something entirely different. Let's start with what everyone expects, the monthly payment. You see a number like $400 a month and think, that's manageable? It feels like a straightforward deal, pay each month and the car is yours. Car dealerships often focus your attention on the monthly payment because it makes the purchase feel affordable. But that number rarely includes everything else you'll pay over the life of the car. Then there's fuel. Gas prices go up and down, but filling up the tank is a predictable part of car ownership. You might budget for it, grumble at the pump, and move on. It's an expense you expect. Some people fill up once a week, others more or less often, but either way, it's a recurring cost that adds up over months and years. Even with a fuel-efficient car, the total can be surprising. So far, these costs seem obvious. But let's look at what's hiding beneath the surface expenses that don't show up on the sticker price or in the dealer's financing offer. Depreciation is the silent thief of car value. The moment you drive off the lot, your car starts losing value, sometimes thousands of dollars in the first year alone. It's money you never see, but it's very real. Imagine buying a $30,000 car and discovering it's worth $24,000 just a year later. That's $6,000, gone not in cash, but in lost value. It's like throwing away money you never held in your hand. Depreciation doesn't stop after the first year. Each mile you drive, each year that passes, your car becomes worth less. By the time you're ready to sell or trade in, the difference can be staggering. Insurance is another cost that's easy to underestimate. It's legally required in most places, but the price can vary wildly depending on your age, where you live, and what kind of car you drive. A sporty car or a luxury model can double or even triple your insurance premium compared to a basic sedan. Sometimes, a single speeding ticket or accident can send your rates soaring for years. Insurance isn't just about protecting your car, it's about protecting yourself from financial disaster. But every month, that premium chips away at your budget, whether you ever file a claim or not. Maintenance and repairs are the wild cards of car ownership. Some costs are routine, oil changes, new tires, brake pads. Others come out of nowhere, a blown transmission, a dead battery, or a fender bender. It's easy to forget about these expenses when everything is running smoothly. But a single unexpected repair can wipe out your savings for the month, or even longer if it's a major issue. Over time, maintenance adds up. Even small things like windshield wipers, fluids, and filters can become a steady stream of minor expenses that quietly drain your wallet. Then there are the annual costs that sneak up on you: registration, taxes, and fees. Every year, a renewal notice arrives in the mail, and suddenly you're facing another bill you forgot to plan for. Depending on where you live, registration fees can range from a minor annoyance to a significant annual expense. Add in local taxes, and the total can be surprisingly high. Parking is a cost that varies wildly depending on your location. In dense cities, finding a parking spot can mean paying $200 or more each month just for the privilege of storing your car. Even in the suburbs, parking isn't always free. Some workplaces charge employees for parking, and special events or city trips can mean paying for a spot every time you go out. Tolls are another hidden cost, especially if you commute on highways or bridges. A few dollars here and there might not seem like much, but over a year, tolls can add up to hundreds of dollars. Some drivers install electronic toll passes for convenience, but that also means it's easier to lose track of how much you're spending until you check your statement at the end of the month. Beyond the visible bills, there's the opportunity cost. The money you tie up in your car that could have been used elsewhere. That $8,000 down payment could have been invested, saved, or spent on something else entirely. Every dollar spent on your car is a dollar not available for travel, education, or building an emergency fund. The true cost isn't just what you pay, but what you give up by making that choice. Imagine if, instead of buying a car, you invested the same money in the stock market or used it to start a business. Over time, the difference in your financial position could be dramatic. Car ownership isn't just about money, it's also about emotion and identity. For many people, a car represents freedom, independence, and even status. It's a symbol of adulthood and success. The feeling of driving your own car, going wherever you want, whenever you want, is powerful. It's no wonder so many people see their car as an extension of themselves. But what's the real price of that feeling? How much are you willing to pay for the sense of freedom, and is it worth the financial trade-offs that come with it? Owning a car can also bring stress and uncertainty. Repairs, accidents, theft, and tickets are all part of the package. Unexpected events that add both anxiety and cost. A breakdown on the way to work isn't just expensive. It can mean missed meetings, lost wages, and a day filled with frustration. The emotional toll is real, even if it's hard to measure. Tickets and fines are another source of stress. A single parking ticket or speeding violation can cost more than a month's worth of gas, and the frustration lingers long after you've paid the bill. Even the fear of theft or vandalism can add to the emotional cost of owning a car. Some people pay extra for secure parking or advanced security systems just for peace of mind. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. When you own a car, you're not just making a purchase. You're entering into a web of sunk costs and psychological traps. The sunk cost fallacy makes it hard to let go of a car, even when it's no longer the best financial choice. You keep fixing an old car because you've already spent so much on it. The endowment effect means we tend to overvalue what we own, leading us to spend more money maintaining or upgrading a car than we would if we were starting from scratch. These psychological forces can keep you locked into car ownership, even when the numbers no longer make sense. It's easy to justify another repair or upgrade because of what you've already invested. But what if you had other options? Public transit, cycling, car sharing, or even walking can offer alternatives, each with its own costs and benefits. The point isn't to say one is better, but to highlight that you have choices. Every dollar you spend on a car is a dollar not spent on something else. That trade-off is easy to overlook, but it's at the heart of personal finance and economic decision-making. Imagine spending less on transportation and having more to invest in your education, travel, or retirement. The opportunity cost of car ownership is often invisible, but it's always there. On a larger scale, our collective car ownership shapes cities and economies. Roads, parking lots, and highways require massive investments in infrastructure, funded by taxes and public spending. Urban congestion, air pollution, and the need for constant road maintenance are all consequences of millions of people choosing to own cars. These costs ripple out beyond individual drivers. The environmental impact of car ownership is significant. From manufacturing to fuel consumption to disposal, every car leaves a footprint that affects the planet and future generations. Cities designed around cars often have less green space, longer commutes, and higher stress levels. The way we choose to get around shapes the world we live in, often in ways we don't notice day to day. When you add it all up, the true cost of owning a car is far more than just the monthly payment in gas. It's a complex web of expenses, trade-offs, and consequences that touch every part of your life. You might have started this journey thinking about car payments and fuel. Now, you can see the full iceberg beneath the surface, the hidden costs, and the bigger economic story. It's not about guilt or blame. It's about understanding the real trade-offs behind everyday choices, and seeing how those choices shape your financial future and the world around you. The next time you see a shiny new car, remember, the price tag is just the beginning. The real costs are often hidden, waiting to reveal themselves over months and years. Car ownership is a deeply personal decision, influenced by culture, convenience, and emotion. But knowing the full picture helps you make choices that align with your values and goals. Maybe you love the freedom of driving, or maybe you're just looking for the most practical way to get from point A to point B. Either way, understanding the true cost puts you in control. The smartest question isn't, can I afford the monthly payment? But, what am I really paying for, and what am I giving up in return? That's the heart of the economic trade-off. Everyday expenses like car ownership hide bigger stories about how we spend, save, and invest. They reveal the invisible forces that shape our lives, often without us realizing it. Seeing the full cost of car ownership is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you notice the details you missed before, the small leaks that add up over time. The lesson isn't to avoid cars at all costs, but to see them for what they are, a bundle of financial, emotional, and social commitments that deserve careful thought. When you look past the surface, you start to see the patterns in your own spending. You recognize the trade-offs you're making, and you can decide if they're truly worth it. The deepest trade-off isn't just about money. It's about time, freedom, and the life you want to build. Every choice has a ripple effect, shaping your future in ways you might not expect. The old belief that a car is just a payment and some gas leaves out the most important parts of the story. It's a comforting illusion, but one that can quietly limit your options. The smarter question is not, how much does the car cost? But what does this choice mean for my life, my goals, and my future opportunities? That's where the real calculation begins. Emotionally, owning a car can feel like a milestone, a sign you've made it. But the true milestone is understanding the full price of that feeling and deciding if it's worth what you're giving up. In the end, the real story of car ownership is about seeing the trade-offs clearly and choosing with open eyes. It's about understanding that every financial decision is a reflection of your values. The price tag on a car is just the start of the journey. The real cost is measured in dollars, time, stress, and missed opportunities hidden beneath the surface, shaping your life in quiet ways. Next time you think about buying or keeping a car, remember, the most important costs are the ones you don't see. That's where the biggest lessons and the biggest opportunities are hiding. Everyday expenses can be windows into much larger economic stories. When you look beyond the obvious, you start to see how your choices connect to the world around you. If you're curious about what other everyday costs hide beneath the surface, there's a whole world of economic stories waiting to be explored. The answers might surprise you. The real mistake isn't spending money on a car. The real mistake is thinking the price tag tells the whole story, when the true cost is written in the choices you never realized you were making.